Okay, we're going to look at question 23. We're going to look at how we solve these equations. So this is an algebraic fraction, and we've got to first of all find a common denominator. So our first step here would be to take a common denominator, and the common denominator I would go for is 6. So this 2, to get it up to 6, it needed to be multiplied by 3. So its top line also gets multiplied by 3. So that becomes 3 upon x plus 2. Same idea. This 3 needs to be multiplied by 2 to get it up to 6. So this needs to get multiplied by 2 as well. So it's going to be 2 upon 2x minus 1. Now just be careful. Notice here it's a minus sign. So I have to put a minus sign in between. And that is equal to 2. Okay, in a question you'd probably get 2 marks for doing what you've just done, and then you would have to then just go ahead and tidy everything up. Now the first thing I like to do is multiply across by that 6. So I'll leave my top line as it was. It was 3 upon x plus 2 minus 2 upon 2x minus 1 is equal to 12. And then if we multiply our brackets, we're going to get 3x plus 6. And then be very careful multiplying out this bracket. This is where people make mistakes. Minus 2 times 4x is minus 4x. Minus 2 times minus 1 is plus 2. That's still equal to 12. Now what we want to do is just tidy up. You have 3x minus 4x, which is just minus x. 6 plus 2, which is 8. And that is still equal to 12. I'll just bring my 8 across. We'll have 12 then minus 8. So you have minus x is equal to 4. And your last line then, x is equal to minus 4. And that's it. Okay, if you pause the video and then have a go at question 23 on the SEA resource, and then check your solutions. In this one, we can just take, in this SEA resource question of question 23, we can just take a common denominator of 4. You could have gone for a common denominator of 8, but we'll just go for a common denominator of 4. And the top line here is fine, it was already over 4. And this 2 needs to be multiplied by 2. So this top line needs to be multiplied by 2. So what you can do is just change that 3 to 2 times 3 to give you the 6. So it's minus 6 upon x minus 1. And then that equals 2 and 1/3. So again, what I would do is just cross multiply. So we have 5x minus 2, then minus 6 upon x minus 1 is equal to 4 times 2 and 1/3. So if we do that, and you can do that on your calculator and see what you get. So you had 4 times 2 and 1/3, and then times the 4, and that gives me 28 over 3. And we'll just leave it at that for a wee second. Tidy up our left hand side, you're going to have 5x minus 2 minus 6x. And then careful, minus 6 times minus 1 is plus 6, or that should be minus 6x. So you have 5x minus 2 minus 6x plus 6. Tidy up again, you'll have minus x plus 4 is equal to 28 over 3. 28 over 3, I am just going to change. I'm going to write that 28 over 3 as that's 9 and 1/3. It will make life a wee bit easier. And minus x is equal to 9 and 1/3 minus 4, which means minus x is equal to 5 and 1/3. Which means x itself is equal to minus 5 and 1/3. And that is it. So there you can see the whole solution here. Taking a common denominator of 4. Next line I've multiplied across by my 4. Then I've multiplied out my brackets on the left hand side. Tidied up on the left hand side. This line all I've done is change my 28 over 3 to 9 and 1/3. Then brought my 4 across so it becomes minus 4. And then tidied up again, and then my last line I had minus x is equal to 5 and 1/3, so my last line x is equal to minus 5 and 1/3. This question says, this is a box and whisker diagram question, it says the median of the scores in an archery competition is 80, and the lower and upper quartiles are 73 and 84. The scores range from 71 to 94. Okay, draw a box plot for the scores. So the scores range from 71. So 71 is your lowest value. So 71 then, put a wee dot where 71 would be. Do it sort of in the middle of the bar so it makes it nice to see. To 94, so 94 would be here. And then that's the upper and lower values. And then that's for your upper and lower values, just put a dot. For your quartiles, so your lower quartile, your median, your upper quartile, you do a straight line. So your lower quartile, and the lower quartile is 73, so it's 73. You're going to do a vertical line. I'm going to do mine 6 high, 6 wee small boxes high. So 73 then, so that would be 74, that would be 73, and I'll do 3 up from there and 3 down from there. And there we have it. And 84 is the upper quartile, so 84, there's 85, so 84 is going to be here. And again, I'll go 3 up and I'll go 3 down. You should be using a ruler to do this. And the median is 80, so at 80, 3 up and 3 down. And I will use a ruler for the rest of it. It's just awkward using a ruler on this thing. And there we have it. And just link everything up, and there you have your box and whisker diagram done. Okay, pause the video, and then have a go at the one on from the CCA resource, and then come back to the video, please. Okay, so this is the CCA resource. It says, Janet has done some research. She has found that 25% of the data are less than 51. So that means, basically that means your lower quartile is equal to 51. That's what the quartile is. Lower quartile is the value which 25% of things are below. The interquartile range is 30. So we know our Q1, that's our lower quartile, is 51. The interquartile range is your difference between Q1 and Q3. So that allows you then to find that Q3 is equal to 51 plus 30, which is equal to then 81. It also says the range is 82. We'll come back to that. But it also says the lowest value is 10. So the lowest value is equal to 10. The range then, so the highest, it tells you the range is equal to 82. So the highest is equal to 10 plus 82. So it is equal to 92. And the median is Q2. Your median is 60. So we've got to draw this box plot. So now we've got all these bits of information. We can get cracking on that. So to draw the box plot, your first thing we'll do, we'll mark on our lowest and our highest values. So our lowest value was, what was it, 10? So I'll just do a wee dot at 10. My highest value was 92. So a wee dot where your 92 is. And then my lower quartile was 51. So I'm just doing my vertical line. Again, you should use a ruler for this. Your median was 60, vertical line at 60. My upper quartile was 81. And then we are good to go. So just link those up. 2 lines from your upper value to your upper quartile, from your lower value to your lower quartile. Then link up your wee boxes as well. So I have used the ruler this time. And there we have it. That is it. Done. Question, this is a coordinate geometry question where we have to find the equation of straight line joining the points 0, 5 and 2, 11. So first of all, I'd write down my general equation of straight line, which is y is equal to mx plus c. And always the first thing I do is find the gradient. Now the gradient, if you remember, is your y difference over your x difference. So my gradient, I'm going to start with this y value, which is 11, and then take away this y value, which is 5. Over, and then I'll start with this x value, which is 2, take away this x value, which is 0. So 11 minus 5 is 6 over 2. My gradient is equal to 3. Now, good practice then. Once you find an unknown, you rewrite the equation. So y is equal to 3x plus c. Now, c, think what c is. C is the y-intercept. So, and here, you've got a value which is on your y-intercept. So really what you could do is just write down that your c is equal to 5. So y is equal to 3x plus 5. Or you might not see that. So or you might not be able to do it just because maybe there isn't a point which is your y-intercept. So or I'm going to sub in the other point. So I'm going to sub in 211. So just say sub in 211. And that will give you 11 is equal to my m, which was 3, times my x value, which is 2, plus c. That's 11 is equal to 6 plus c. So 11 minus 6 is equal to c. So again, your c is equal to 5. So again, your y value is 3x. Your equation of your line, is y equals 3x plus 5. Next question says, write down the equation of a line parallel to the line in A, which passes through the point 0, minus 4. So if two lines are parallel, they have the same gradient. So the gradient of our line in the previous question was 3. So the gradient of the new line is also 3. So y equals 3x plus c. And here it passes through the point 0, minus 4. 0 minus 4 is on your y-axis. So that means y is equal to 3x minus 4 is the answer that they're looking for. Okay, pause the video, have a go at the question from the SEER resource, and then check your answers with the rest of this video. Okay, this is question 25 from the SEER resource. A wee bit different than the example we had. We've got A, B, C, D, and they're the vertices of a parallelogram. So I'm going to do a sketch out just off that to see what is going on. So I'm going to have to do my minus 5, 0. I'm going to do it here. That's my A, minus 5, 0. B then is minus 3, 2, so it's going to be up a bit. And then my C is 0, 0, 3, so it's on up to the right and up another wee bit. And then my D is minus 2, 1. So very roughly, that's what it looks like. A, the B, the C, the D, and back again. So it's a parallelogram. You can just about make out that that's a parallelogram. Use your imagination. This is just a sketch to help me. It says the equation of the line going through the points A and B. So this line here, I just shade it. This line here has equation y equals x plus 5. And it says, what is the equation of the line going through the points C and D? So what we want to find is equation of this line here. So first of all, you can see that they're parallel. So I know my gradients are going to be the same. The gradient of my line that I've highlighted in yellow, my line AB, gradient of it was 1. So the gradient of my CD is also 1. So y is equal to x, 1x plus lowercase c. And then just sub in one of your points. So sub in C or D. The easy one to sub in is this one. I'll just say sub in C, which is 0, 3. So my y value is 3 when my x value is 0. So it's just 0 plus c. So that just gives you c is equal to 3. So your answer, y is equal to x plus 3. Okay, in question 26, it says, a coat was reduced by 30% in a sale. After 2 weeks, it was reduced by a further 30%. It now costs £98. So it starts off with this amount. I don't know what this amount is. I'll do this as a square to not confuse us with a 0. So it starts off with this amount, and then it's reduced by 30%. Okay, how we reduce something by 30% is you multiply by 0.7 as it goes down to 70%. And it went down to whatever this value was. It was then reduced by a further 30%, so it was divided by 0.7 again, and it ends up being £98. So a question says, how much has it been reduced by in the sale? So first of all, we want to go backwards, and we're going to do that by dividing by 0.7 and dividing by 0.7 again. So we do that on our calculators just. So we're just going to do 98 divided by 0.7, and then divide by 0.7 again. And initially it was then, we'll just say initial value is equal to £200. Okay, a lot of people would make the mistake of thinking that's your answer. Read the question again. It says, how much has it been reduced by in the sale? It says, how much has it been reduced by in the sale? So we haven't actually answered that. Your answer is your initial value of 200 minus your 98. And if you do that, you will get an answer of £102. And that is us. Okay, pause the video, have a go at question 26 from CCA's resource, and then check your answer with the video. Okay, this is question 26 from CCA's resource. It says, Mr. Green is growing a sunflower. After 1 month, he noticed its height has increased by 20%. After a further month, he noticed its height has increased again by 20%. Its height is now 1.8 meters. How much it has grown in the last 2 months? So we'll say this is our first amount. it grows by 20%. If something grows by 20%, you multiply by 1.2. It grows again by 20%, so you multiply by 1.2, and it ends up being a height of 1.8 meters. So if we reverse that process, we'll divide by 1.2, and we'll divide again by 1.2, and we'll just do that on our calculators. So 1.8 divided by 1.2, so I should write that down, 1.8 divided by 1.2, and then divided by 1.2 again, and that gives me, bear with me, it gives me 1.25. Now the question says, how much has it grown in the last 2 months? So your answer is how much it was finished at 1.8, start off as 1.25. So 1.8 minus 1.25 gives you, and it is 0.55 meters. That's the way they want it, as 0.55 meters. Always check the units just in case they changed the centimeters or whatever, but they haven't in this case. They've kept in meters, so that is us. Okay, this is our last question, question 27. This is incredibly difficult. This is the sort of question, really, if they'd allocated the marks as they should have been, this would probably have been worth 10 or 12 marks. But their logic for only giving 4 marks for a question like this would be that they're expecting so few people to get anything from it. So it means if you don't get it, you're only losing 4 marks as opposed to maybe losing 10 or 12 marks. So we're going to have a look at this question and we see if we can get any marks from it. But again, folks, this really is very, very difficult. It says in this one, work out the area of this kite below. And the diagram is not drawn accurately, so you cannot just measure it or whatever and figure out what the area is from doing that. So you have to just work it out using the algebra and geometry and so on. So here we've got a kite. 100 degrees is this angle. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on the diagonals. And drawing on that diagonal does a couple of things. First of all, it splits this horizontal line in 2, and it also creates a right angle, and it also splits this angle here in 2, so it gets split into 2 equal bits. All right, so quite a few things going on now. I'm just going to mark on my right angle still, and I'm going to call this bit X, this wee horizontal bit X, this vertical bit Y, and I'm going to call this bit Z. So I've got effectively 4 triangles. I have a triangle here, I have a triangle here, I have a triangle here, triangle here, and a triangle here. And the top 2 triangles are the same triangle. The bottom 2 triangles are also a pair of triangles. So you have a pair of top triangles, a pair of bottom triangles. So you can find the top triangle, find its area, and you can find the bottom triangle and find its area. Okay, I said it's very difficult, but there are some marks that we can pick up in a question like this. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is draw out our triangle. This is our top triangle. We had X, we had Y, and we had a 5. And I'm just going to label inside this thing that's 50 degrees. And also, this 5 is my hypotenuse. The X is my opposite. The Y is my adjacent. So we can use our trig to find our X's and our Y's. So sine, remember sine is equal to the opposite, which is X, over the hypotenuse, which is 5. So 5 times sine 50 equals X. And you can work out your X, and I've done it to 5 dPs, so because I'll be using it later on. So 3.83022. Same idea, I can use trig to find my Y. So cos of 50 is equal to Y over 5, which means 5 cos 50 is equal to Y. And I've worked out my Y to be 3.2194. Okay, the second triangle we don't have as much to do. This is my bottom triangle. Whoops, my bottom triangle. That is 8 centimeters. And we don't know any angles here, but we do now know that the X was, and that's why I've worked this out in so many decimal places, it was 3.83022, and what we want to find is our Z. So instead of using trig this time, we're going to use Pythagoras Theorem to do it. So I'm just going to say 8 squared, my hypotenuse, is equal to 3.83022 squared plus my Z squared. and then I'm just going to say my 8 squared minus my 3.8022 squared is equal to z squared. So z is just going to be equal to the square root of all that. So z just equals the square root of all that. Just do that in one go on your calculator. 3.8022 squared. And when I punched that into my calculator, I got an answer of 7.02349. Okay. We now have got enough information to find the areas of these two triangles, and then you can find the total area from that. So let's go ahead and look at how we can do this. So our top triangle is a half times the base. Now the base of that top triangle is 2 lots of x, so 2 times 3.83022. And the perpendicular height of that top triangle is y. And what was our y? It was 3.2194. And if I've done that correctly, I think that works out to be 10.87283. Now my bottom triangle is a half times my base. Now the base of that bottom triangle is 2 lots of your 3.83022. Apologies. And your height of that bottom triangle is a z, which was 7.02349. And again, if I've done that correctly, that will work out to be 26.90151. And then your total area is just those two things added. So your total area is 10.87283 plus the 26.90151, which works out to be 37.77 centimeters squared, and I've given my answer to 2 decimal places. Okay, so that is a very difficult question, as difficult as you're going to get. Thankfully, they've left that to the very end of the question, exam paper. You would try and pick up as many marks as you could, but they would be expecting very, very few people to get any amount of marks from that. But hopefully, we can pick up a couple at least, and some of you will obviously go on and get the whole lot. Okay, pause the video and then have a go at their version of this in their question 27 in the SEA resource, and then come back to the video, please. Okay, this is SEA's question. I'm going to do this the same sort of way as we had done the last one. I'm going to split it in two, and I'm going to call this height y, I'm going to call this x, and I'm going to call this height z, and that's a right angle triangle. So I'm going to look at my triangle here. I'll do it the same way as I did the last question. Actually, we used the right-hand side triangle. There's no reason to mess things around. So that was 40 degrees. That was my y. That was my x. That was a right angle. That was 6. And then that was my hypotenuse. That was my opposite. And that was my adjacent. So we can use trig to find these things. So I'm just going to say that sine of 40 is equal to x over 6, which means 6 sine 40 is equal to x, and I'm going to give my x to a whole pile of decimal places. So I'm going to say it's 3.8567, and I'm copying their mark scheme. They've actually used the whole number given on the calculator, so I will just do the same. To find my y, cos of 40 is equal to y over 6, which means 6 times cos of 40 is equal to y. Again, I'm copying their mark scheme, and they've given theirs as 4.5966659. Okay, so you've got your x and you've got your y. Right, to find your z, we need to draw another triangle to find your z. So we're drawing this bottom triangle. So there's my z. I know that's 10, that's a right angle, and I also know my x, and I'm going to use theirs, 3.856725658, and I'm just going to say then 10 squared, use Pythagoras Theorem, 10 squared is equal to my z squared plus 3.856725658 56725,658 squared. So a wee bit of working out. Your z is going to be equal to the square root of 10 squared minus 3.856725658 squared. And a wee bit of working out, then your z works out to be 9.226357,201. Okay, right, we have got, I'm going to work off the side of the page here so we can see this. I'm going to say my area of the top triangle is equal to a half times my base. My base is 2 lots of x, so 2 times that 3.856725,658 times also my height, which was my y, which was 4.59626659. And then my top triangle then works out to be 17.7265395. Area of my bottom triangle works out to be a half times 2 lots of the x, so 2 times 3.856725,658 times the height, which was a z, and z we worked out to be 9.226357,201. So your bottom triangle works out to be 35. Sorry, it doesn't at all. Bottom triangle was 35.5835,285, and then your total area. Just add those two things. So when I say add those two things, I mean add this and add this, and see what you get for your total. And their total has worked out to be 53.3100681, and they have left it the gap. There's no way they would leave it the gap in reality. So really, you would say 53.31, and we'll say centimeters squared to 2 decimal places.